What's going on, guys? Welcome into the Bulls Report. Coming up on today's show, is Billy Donovan on the hot seat after the two recent hires by the Chicago Bulls? I don't know, but we will talk about it. And then also later on today's show, I saw an absolute wild trade idea, which involves Zach LaVine heading to the Brooklyn Nets for Ben Simmons. Yes, Ben Simmons. We'll be diving into that absolutely insane trade idea I saw on the internet. But first, guys, I do want to get you guys an updated look here. So, here at Chat Sports, we have multiple NBA channels. And, our Bulls channel is still one of the newer ones here. And our Celtics Today channel has been humming for the past couple of seasons. And as you see, we're almost down by 22,000 subscribers. That is a massive kind of mountain we need to climb. So if you guys are new here and want us to, just close that gap just a little bit with Celtics Day, hit that subscribe button and lock us in. So the Bulls made two recent coaching hires over the weekend, that being Wes Unseld Jr. and Dan Craig. Wes Unseld spent most of his time in the past with the Charlotte Hornets, and then obviously got let go there, and then was with the Los Angeles Clippers this past season under Ty Lue, and he's had a ton of coaching experience there in his years, and now he is the assistant with the Chicago Bulls. But Dan Craig, on the other hand, he has been a part of the Heat culture for a very, very long time. And if you guys want to get to know Dan Craig a little more, I found this cool little tidbit on the internet about his coaching path, and he said he earned D-League Coach of the Month honors for December, January, and March and April, and won the 2015-16 Dennis Johnson Coach of the Year Award, which is the G League Coach of the Year Award, and the Sky Force went on to win the league championship with a 2-1 final series win over the Los Angeles Defenders. And listen, I think the Bulls need some Heat culture. Like, I loved hearing that the Bulls hired Dan Craig, because if you think about, the two teams, the Bulls and the Heat, like, they couldn't be polar opposites in terms of, like, what they value in their organization. Like the Heat, they value developing their draft picks, playing smart, tough, and dependable basketball. And if you look at the Bulls over the past couple of years, it's been the furthest from that. And I was talking to Nick Roloff, our Heat Report host here at Chat Sports, and he absolutely loved Dan Craig. He said he did numbers for the Heat development system, which is great news to me, because the Bulls named the last draft pick that they have really developed into becoming even a borderline all-star, or even just a good role player. Like, you got Coby White, Io DeSumo, but I'm not really putting, their leaps this past season on the Bulls development team, considering the misses they have had in the past. But with these two hires that the Bulls just made, are the Bulls preparing for life out of Billy Donovan? And if you guys look up on the internet right now, how long was Billy Donovan extended for a couple years ago? You will not find that answer. That has been the best kept secret in the NBA, is truly how long Billy Donovan's contract is with the Bulls. He was extended before the 22-23 season, but there was never an exact number put out there on how long his extension is. And with these two recent hires, maybe the Bulls are looking at it and saying, hey, what if we just are not as successful as we want to be this upcoming year? Maybe these two head coaching possible candidates that we just hired could potentially be the next head coach for Chicago. But my take on Billy Donovan, I don't think Billy Donovan was the main issue with the Bulls this past season. I think there's a lot of other things you could chalk that up to, but I also don't think he helped the Bulls overcome any issues or adversity. Like, there was never a time, during this past season with the injuries, with just the overall chaos in Chicago, that I felt like Billy Donovan had a stranglehold of this locker room and just a culture being set within the Bulls organization. So it's not like I want to give him a lot of the blame here, but also I'm not going to go praise him and saying, he did a great job. I'm kind of in the middle on Billy Donovan, but who's to blame for the Bulls just being stuck in mediocrity over the last couple of seasons? I think 65% I can chalk it up to this roster construction. I think the Bulls front office has set this team up for failure. I mean, just a big three combination of Vooch, DeMar, and LaVine, like, their play styles just don't complement each other at all. And the Bulls, we've seen the NBA really shift to these, like, wings that, dominate, like the 3-and-D wings. Like, you look at the Timberwolves, Jaden McDaniels, and then, like, the Mavericks with, like, these really good role players, and P.J. Washington. The Celtics got two stars on the outside in Tatum and Brown. The Pacers making a move for Siakam. Like, the Bulls just have not pivoted to where the NBA is going. And the other 25% for me, I got to put on the players. Zach LaVine, his tenure in Chicago has been terrible. Nikola Vucevic, he's been terrible as well. I mean, Vuce is going to average 20 and 10 in his Chicago career, and he has been an overall net negative for this team. Terrible defensively, just takes too many threes. This doesn't make winning basketball plays whatsoever. So I would chalk up 25% to players, and then I would have to give the last 10% to coaching because, like I kind of mentioned, Billy Donovan and his staff just has never been able to overcome the top two. Like, they have never once proven to me that, like, I would have faith in this Bulls coaching staff going into a playoff series where you're going to find adversity looking around every corner. I just, don't have any faith in this coaching staff, but I do not think they are even, close to the biggest reason why the Bulls have been stuck in this purgatory in the NBA over the past couple of years. But you guys let me know. Who do you blame for the Bulls' mediocrity? With them losing in the play-in tournament back-to-back seasons and that 9-8 matchup, who's your biggest reason, or what is your biggest reason to blame for the Bulls? Now, coming up next, I do want to tell you guys the latest around Zach LaVine. Bleacher Report had a very interesting quote about him, and then I saw a wild Ben Simmons trade idea, which I can't wait to tell you guys about. But first off, I got to tell you guys about my favorite sponsor we have here on the Bulls Report, and that is PrizePicks. And if you guys download the PrizePicks app and use promo code CLNS when you're making your first deposit only, we will match it up to $100. It's prizepicks.com/CLNS and promo code CLNS, and we will match your first deposit up to $100. PrizePicks is the #1 daily fantasy sports app out there. And with the Eastern Conference Finals starting tonight, I cooked up a lineup. They got their Taco Tuesday special going on right now for my man Jaylen Brown, cutting his point total to 16.5. We are riding the more on that. And then Drew Holiday, I'm going to fade him tonight. I'm going to take the less on 12.5 points for him. And then Tyrese Halliburton really started to get it going at the end of that New York Knicks series in the Eastern Conference semifinal. So I'm going to take the more on his 18.5 points. But hey, if you guys want to ride with this lineup or fade this lineup, we just ask you guys do it at PrizePicks. So download the PrizePicks app. Use promo code CLNS when you're making your first deposit. First deposit into your account. Use that code CLNS, and we will match whatever it is up to $100. I'll put that link for you guys in the comment section and description of today's show. Pick more, pick less. It's PrizePicks, daily fantasy sports made easy. So this is coming in from Dan Fayville, and he was talking about the recent Zach LaVine trade buzz, and he said this. He said, there should still be a reasonable amount of interest, particularly among teams desperate for floor spacing and/or hoping LaVine can settle into a third options role. But that interest may be contingent upon Chicago selling low to medium. Are the Bulls at that point? A more self-aware organization would be. Chicago's view of itself, as we know, is a wild card. And Dan, you are 100% right. This Bulls front office, if this was any other front office in the National Basketball Association that was put in the Bulls' position, they would all be trying to scramble and trade Zach LaVine no matter what. This front office is delusional. We know this. Zach LaVine's trade value is at an all-time low right now. No doubt about it. He had a terrible year last year, coming off a season-ending injury, and I know the old, cliche, you never want to sell something at its lowest point. However, sometimes you just need to rip that Band-Aid off. And this Bulls front office is just hanging on the dear life, and they have an open wound on their arm, and they just keep on trying to put mini Band-Aids over it, and nothing will ever get done. I ask you one time, what is the main goal of this team? Is it to win championships, or is it to win the freaking play-in tournament? You got to start answering that question, members of the Bulls front office. But I do want to get to this wild trade idea I saw. So this was the Bulls and Nets. I could see the Nets being buyers this summer if they do not want to be sellers. They have 9 tradable first-round picks up until 2031, and they got a bunch of dudes they like. And Mikal Bridges, Cam Johnson, Cam Thomas, they got some pieces there. Nick Claxton, they like him as well. But they definitely have a need for a 3-level scorer. So the trade idea I saw out there was the Bulls receiving Ben Simmons and them also getting 2 first-round picks, which is huge. I understand. This deal doesn't seem enticing. If it's just LaVine for Ben Simmons, obviously even I wouldn't do it, and I'm considered one of the biggest Zach LaVine haters out there on the internet. But you are getting 2 27 first-round picks. One's top 8 protected from Philadelphia, and the other is lottery protected from Phoenix, assuming both those teams won't be picking in the lottery or top 8. So these are probably going to be picks from the range of 15 to 25, which the Bulls definitely need. But let's talk about Ben Simmons here. So, obviously it's been a fiasco for him over the last couple of years, dealing with injuries, just not really having, the, best, winning mentality. But, man, you think about what he did during his first 4 seasons. I mean, the dude, it's incredible when I looked this up. He almost averaged a triple-double in each of his first 4 years, and he was also incredibly efficient. We obviously knew he wasn't a scorer from the outside at all, but look at that 2018 year. 17, 9 rebounds, almost 8 assists, and shooting 56% from the field for a guy who can't even sniff to hit a jump shot from outside the paint. Like, I think just his athletic ability, his playmaking, his defense, it's still in there somewhere. And I'm not saying if you would trade for Ben Simmons, like, you would get this production for him, because, like, we know the mental hoops he's been fighting through over the past couple of years with his back surgery. But if this is the deal you are getting, where you're getting Ben Simmons, it's kind of like icing on the cake, where it's like, hey, if he works out, that's just more juice to this trade. But if you take away Ben Simmons from this deal, and it's just Zach LaVine for those 2 first-round picks, I am taking this and I am running. I actually love this deal for Chicago. I understand people see Ben Simmons. They're like, no, I'm not doing that at all. He's just the icing on this cake for this deal. But the best part of this deal is not the picks. It's not Ben Simmons. It's you get that guy off the Chicago Bulls and you get rid of that $40+ million contract over the next 3 seasons. But, hey, you guys let me know. Maybe I'm crazy. Maybe you guys disagree with me. Would you accept this trade? Give me an A for accept or a D for decline down in the comment section. Or maybe if you're a Nets fan watching this video, let me know your thoughts if you would accept this deal as well. If you guys want any more Bulls content on your timeline on Twitter, that's the handle right there. Give me a follow over there at Pat Sieps, and I'll give you guys a follow back. But thank you guys so much for watching today's show. See y'all next time. As always, go Bulls.